It is Tuesday, March 18th, 2025. This is the second week of The Artist's Way, recovering a sense of identity. St. Patrick's Day has come and gone. Rest in peace, St. Patrick. The weekend was so fucking busy. I was out of town in San Luis Obispo and organizing a show. And so that was a really interesting creative endeavor that I think could probably be coupled as my artist date. I started swimming in the ocean again. I found that a good cold plunge can really affect me positively in pretty much every sphere of my life. Mostly it zaps my nervous system really hard, which is lovely, and keeps me at like a certain base level that my anxiety can't really reach over throughout the day. It started last week when I watched all of Severance in one night from like 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. and then I drove to the beach and took a dip, and it wasn't nearly as cold as I thought it was going to be, but cold enough to shock me in the way that I wanted it to. And then right before the show that I organized this week, I went and took another dip, got some Dutch Bros, pulled over in Pismo Beach. Anytime that I'm having like a really, really good period of time in my life, I look back and one of the key factors to that, it seems, was doing a lot of cold plunges. And it just kind of coincides with all of the other good stuff going on in my life. I tend to be more creative and less nervous and lacking less, feeling like I'm lacking less. But maybe there's a correlation. I was not as consistent with the morning pages as I would have liked to be, but it was because my weekend was so fucking crazy, and so I'm gonna try to give myself some grace for that. Especially because multiple nights this week I never went to bed, hence I never woke up and there was never really a time to do morning pages. We've been having periodic cloud storms and rainstorms and then these big beautiful blue skies and sunny days, and it's been lovely. This morning I walked down to a sandwich shop on my street and I had a matcha sunrise with orange juice and read A Rational Man by William Barrett outside for a bit. I'm like 80 something pages into it, but I was reading it last spring quarter and I just dropped off. I think that was when I started writing my crazy fucking religion paper, and then I just kind of forgot to read anything other than my sources. But yeah, I've been reading a lot more lately and doing those dips in the ocean, and both of those seem indicative of something. And I'm saying affirmations to myself, which that's a very hard thing for me to force if I'm not actually feeling it, and I end up feeling pretty corny. But it seems like I've been able to suspend my disbelief a little bit more, and I feel very genuine when I'm telling myself that I'm proud of myself. This week obviously was recovering a sense of identity, and I do feel that the image of myself in my brain is a little bit sharper. I often say that I feel like I'm in first person mode, like first person consciousness. I'm not really thinking about myself in context. I'm just kind of thinking, you know, I'm a vessel for a thought or for an action, and I'm just kind of going about my life, and I'm not super conscious of really anything else about myself. That can be a pretty like dissociative feeling, and so I kind of feel like I'm retaining myself a little bit more in my day-to-day life, and hopefully that continues as I continue down the artist way. What else have I been listening to? Lots of party music, lots of Lady Gaga, making playlists, fantasizing. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot freer than I usually do, and I'm feeling very inspired to keep widening my creative scope and to keep acting on every impulse that I have. I have this faith that has been growing in myself that whatever idea I have, I will be able to execute at least like somewhat well. So I've been submitting to magazines. I just got my work featured in a gallery on campus. I made a modified version of the album wall that I have at home in LA, and printed out a bunch of pictures from my summer. I went to the yarn shop next to my house and bought some woven blue-green yarn that I hung off of all of the push pins, putting my piece in the gallery wall. Then they told me at the gallery, like, we have these other supplies for you, you know. They had seen my mock-up and how I had written the title of the piece, Desire Drives a Dull Knife. And they were like, we have, you know, you could print it out or you could paint it. So then I was painting on the walls, which was a lot of fun. In big blue letters, Desire Drives a Dull Knife. And it was really cool to be working with my hands, which is something that I don't tend to get to do a lot as a producer, and that's my main avenue. You know, I feel like I'm having craft night every night, but it's usually digital craft night, and I feel like I could benefit from expanding my mediums a little bit to feature more physical art and basically just be on screens less. I've also gotten very serious about getting a flip phone. I'm just waiting for my financial aid to deposit, and then I'm taking my ass to the T-Mobile store. So that's going to be a really interesting part of the Artist's Way. Part of why I'm thinking now is because I feel like I need to lock in a little bit harder in order to make this album work, and it's not going to happen if I'm addicted to my phone. I like the idea of using it in one specific context and not having it become this entity that's so present in my life. You know, checking my phone as I'm waiting in line places, or like, God forbid, at like a show or a party, like compulsively checking my phone. I'm trying to bring back the modality of the desktop computer. Unfortunately, that means I'm also gonna have to stop watching so much YouTube in bed, but that's a harder impulse to resist. All of the technology that I would need to use is technically on my smartphone, and I'm really just not enjoying that. That doesn't really seem like a wonder of the modern age anymore. It just seems really overwhelming. And so I like the idea of decentralizing my technology use from my phone and just getting, you know, different tools for each thing. Like, I have my Canon camera now. I've had this bitch for a while, but this is like kind of not working. I'm listening to the radio more, listening to my CDs and expanding my CD collection. Maybe an iPod at some point, but I would have to really consider whether or not I just want that for the aesthetic of having an iPod again, and, you know, the nostalgia of how great it felt to have my little MP3 player. It would be great to get a little contact mic so that we can do our interviews a little bit better. I guess my point is that it is becoming really obvious to me really quickly that I am not only sick of my phone, but that I still need all of those technologies that I've been relying on my smartphone for, and that I would really like to invest more in having good, separate, simpler, and basically more usable to me. I refuse to start believing in like cycling through my technology very quickly. I would also like to be more consistent with my artist date. I feel like it's not that I haven't been making time for my creativity, because I absolutely have been, but I haven't considered any of those times an artist date, so I haven't planned them accordingly. And I feel like being really intentional about it will do wonders for me. Another thing I might do when my financial aid deposits is book myself a hotel room for a night in Santa Barbara and give myself an artist date. I don't like take myself out on trips at all, mostly for money reasons, but I'm gonna say fuck it, and I'm gonna ball, and I'm gonna go to Santa Barbara and swim and take photos and have some espresso in the morning. It's gonna be awesome. Hopefully I get my money, and then I can get my money up and not my funny up, and I can get a fucking haircut. So let's get back into what I actually was learning this week. Let's look at some of the exercises that I did this week. As I outlined last week, I've been using the schizo pad to outline everything. And it's been really helping me quite a bit, a lot more than like a normal notebook would. Here are some quotes that I had written down. The Artist's Way, Week 2, 3/10/25, cloudy, approaching finals, recovering a sense of identity. An ebb and flow to the process of creative recovery. As we gain strength, so will some of the attacks of self-doubt. I definitely resonate with that. She talked a lot about other people being blocked, or like the idea of the blocked artist, and as you are unblocking the artist within you, like you might be encountering a lot of people whose artist is blocked, who are judging you or just like don't fuck with you in general. I wrote down, as long as we were blocked, we often felt that it was arrogance and self-will to speak of ourselves as creative artists. Blocked friends might find your recovery disturbing. Our own biggest enemy, she says, is our deep secret skepticism. Don't give the universe what it gave you right back. This one really resonated with me. I think that I have tried to become increasingly realistic, which has actually just made me increasingly more pessimistic or cynical over the years, and I started attributing things that I would have previously thought of as synchronicities to just being like coincidence or like wishful thinking. So I feel like there are times where I have been given the exact opportunities that I've asked for, sometimes even like very quickly after asking for them. And I am very quick to just like not trust it and to give it back. Be like, I don't want to deal with it. I definitely see that especially in like love, romantic relationships. I feel like it's scary to me when it actually happens the way that I want it to happen. I like don't trust it. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. And so, you know, when I'm saying that I really crave like this love and this affection, and that I'm really hoping that this, you know, situation will pan out in my favor, and then I see some sign that it's panning out in my favor, I like give it back to the universe. Like I don't know what to do with all that. I know you're trying to play a trick on me, and if I buy into this, you know, I'm gonna get my shit rocked. So I know that if I do that with love, I probably do that with creativity too. I definitely notice that a lot of times when people compliment me, I'm very quick to give the compliment back and deflect it. I'm pretty quick to just think that that person is trying to flatter me, or, you know, somehow feels bad for me, and so they're complimenting my work so that I might feel encouraged, because they secretly think that like no one's encouraging this bitch. You know, let me at least be nice. But I know I need to stop thinking that way. And as she says, our deep secret skepticism is our own biggest enemy. And genuinely, I think that resonates with me, because who else is my biggest enemy? Who's trying to keep me down? No one. Myself, maybe. No one. I also wrote down, she was talking about the end of her marriage and how painful it was. I believe it was the end of the marriage. She also talks about her mother's death, but regardless, a painful time in her life. She says, the precise moment I was in was always the only safe place for me. Each moment taken alone was always bearable. I transcribed her rules of the road. In order to be an artist, I must, number 1, show up at the page. Use the page to rest, to dream, to try. Number 2, fill the well by caring for my artist. Number 3, set small and gentle goals and meet them. Important. Number 4, pray for guidance, courage, and humility. Number 5, remember that it is far harder and more painful to be a blocked artist than it is to do the work. Number 6, be alert always for the presence of the great creator, leading and helping my artist. Number 7, choose companions who encourage me to do the work, not just talking about doing the work or why I am not doing the work. Number 8, remember the great creator loves creativity. Number 9, Number 9, remember that it is my job to do the work, not judge the work. And number 10, I must place this sign in my workplace. I've forgotten to do this. I should definitely do this today. Great creator, I will take care of the quantity. You take care of the quality. Even in reading the rules of the road, I did notice where some of my own disbelief started coming up and being like, I'm not going to say shit to the great creator. I remember that it's very important to be suspending my disbelief and to be still taking away what I can from this reading without interjecting my own opinion on what I think of the great creator or whatever. I wrote down some of the week 2 tasks. One of them was to write 20 things that you like doing and how much time has passed since you last did them. So I'm gonna read you guys mine. 20 things I like doing. So I said, going to the beach last weekend, yoga last quarter, having sex. I'm not gonna read you guys that one. Sorry. Going out dancing 2 weeks ago, recording last week, doing a full tea setup 2 weeks, going to house shows last weekend, dyeing January, and cutting last June my hair. You can see the haircut's really been on my mind. Thrifting February with Adam. Writing for Substack November. Was the last time I published something. Swimming a long while ago. That has since changed because I wrote this down and then I went to the beach. Making shit in Photoshop yesterday. Reading 2 days ago. fucking off into the woods 2 weeks ago. This is something I could realistically do every single day because of where I live. So definitely have to prioritize that one again. Lingering at coffee shop, couple weeks. Throwing parties, October, frowny face. That's just fucked up. That's just fucked up that I haven't thrown a party since October. Although the show that I threw over the weekend was basically a party. So it definitely got me inspired to start partying again. Throwing my own parties. I've been partying. Radio show, fall quarter. Making a new elaborate meal, IDK, a while. I've just been cooking some bullshit, honestly. I've just been eating like Trader Joe's meals and Trader Joe's ingredients, and I'm just getting real fucking sick of Trader Joe's. I need to go to the farmer's market. And finally, number 20, the farmer's market, last month. Spirituality, exercise, play, work, friends, romance, and adventure. Oh, you place a dot in each slice at the degree to which you are fulfilled in that area. Outer rim indicating great, inner circle not so great. Here's my circle. You can see I've been doing fine with work, relatively fine with friends and spirituality, but it has mostly been work. And see how low romance and adventure is? And see how low play is? That's gotta change. That's gotta change right now. Work is both my work and my school. Spirituality is my art. I hadn't been playing. I hadn't been hanging out with my friends as much as I really could stand to. I definitely wasn't exercising, but I got these exercise pants today with flared. That's gonna be the thumbnail. So anyway, now I'm gonna exercise. Surely because I've gotten... No, I'm not gonna doubt it. I'm saying that I will exercise, so I will. I also wrote down some I would like to's, 10 tiny changes. List 10 changes you'd like to make for yourself, from the significant to the small or vice versa. And then you select one small item and make it a goal for that week, and then you do that item. And I did do that. Let's try to find the proof. I'm gonna give up real quick here. Oh, here it is, never mind. I will not give up. 10 tiny changes. I said I would like to wake up early, I would like to have a sense of purpose in waking up each day. That sounds really depressing. It's more just that I don't usually have a plan when I wake up, especially now that it's finals week and my school is mostly done. I would like to spend more time with friends. I would like to be on my phone less. I would like to read more. I would like to prioritize recording. My album is due soon, so I'm definitely gonna need to record more. I would like to consistently go to class. I would like to go to Eastfield more, just a really beautiful place to watch the sunset and watch people, fucking hacky-sacking and pickleballing and slacklining. I need to get my ass on the slackline again. I had like a revelatory experience. My revelation was that I don't have to be good at the slackline in order to enjoy it, so I was having like the time of my fucking life. I'm not gonna read you number 9 because it's personal, but I will tell you 10 was I would like to be more excited about getting dressed in the morning. I've honestly been accomplishing most of these things this week. Literally, why? Yeah. How is that possible? But anyway, I'm excited to get dressed in the morning and go to Eastfield and prioritize recording. The only reason I think I've been deprioritizing recording is because it's cold and lonely in the studio. I think that's all I had for this week. I feel like I'm on a good path. There are all of these things that are starting to happen in my life that are just blossoming outwards in a really beautiful way, and I can feel that I'm entering like a good time, and I'm excited to see where that takes me. I would expand further on some of those really wonderful changes, but it's 3:58 and at 4 p.m. I have my stats final, and I'm gonna have some water and some tea, maybe even some espresso, so that I can get even more fucking cracked and wired than I am now. And I'm excited to keep working on the artist way and keep making these videos. Thank you for watching, if you're watching. This would be really crazy if this like randomly got some views. And to anybody who might be watching, I greatly encourage that you go on the artist way as well. Oh my god. How is this possible? How has this not fallen down the entire time it's been set up for these last like 3 months, and it's fallen down twice in the last 5 minutes? Kill myself, yeah.